Good morning to you and welcome. These are the development stories at this time on Osrc television. I am Oyewumi Ayinigbara. The Supreme Court will today deliver judgment in an appeal filed by Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola of the All Progressives Congress APC against a judgment of the appeal court which upheld the election of Ademola Adeleke as governor of Osrc State. The five-member panel, led by Justice John Iyango Okoro, will deliver the judgment by 2 p.m. The Supreme Court had yesterday received judgment in the appeal filed by Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola of the All Progressives Congress. Ademola Adeleke was declared winner of the July 16 governorship election in Osrc State, but Oyetola had gone ahead to obtain a certified true copy of the BVerse report from INEC and filed his petition. The National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress APC has zoned the leadership of the 10th National Assembly. According to a statement by the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Felix Moka, the zoning arrangement reported to the NWC is as follows: Senate President South-South, Godswill Akpabio Akwa Ibom; Deputy Senate President Northwest, Barao Jibrin Kano. Others are the Speaker of the House of Representatives Northwest, Abbas Tajuddin Kaduna; Deputy Speaker Southeast, Ben Kalu Abia. The announcement of the zoning arrangement, according to Moka, followed a meeting by the NWC to consider reports of consultations and meetings held with the President-elect Bola Tinubu and other stakeholders on the zoning arrangement for the 10th National Assembly. He said the NWC called for further and better consultation with necessary stakeholders in order to assure the support of the aspirants to the National Assembly leadership positions and members of the party nationwide. The party urged its leaders, members, and Nigerians to continue to work for the peace and progress of the country during and beyond the current period of leadership transition. Participants at Executive Intelligence Management Course 16 of the National Institute of Security Studies have commenced a week-long study tour of Ondo State. The participants, who are members of 35 federal agencies including State Security Service, the Police, and SCDC, among others, will make findings and document same on globalization and regional economic integration. Osrc Said Aribisala reports that the team paid a visit to the Deji, Oba Aladetoyibo Aladelusi, and the Olowo, Oba Ajibade Gbadegeshi.
Of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 16 at the National Institute of Security Studies, Buhari, Abuja, arriving in the ancient palace of Olowo in our kingdom. The Course 16 Syndicate 5 is in Ondo State for a week-long study tour, as the team leader Bartholomew Omoaka says getting royal blessings is important for the task.
They are undergoing a 10-month course in the National Institute leading to the award of Fellow Security Institute FSI, if found worthy in learning and in character.
He adds that the participants, who are officers of the State Security Service, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Nigeria Police Force, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, among others, are in the state to make findings and document same. The Olowo Oba Ajibade Ogunwoye, who noted that security is key to nationhood, recounts the June 5 attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, urging government to preach nationalism and in place policies to curb insecurity.
Your study, you would engage yourselves in finding solutions to the security challenges that's facing us in Nigeria, particularly the issue of terrorism, farmers, headers clash, insurrection here and there, and the lack of nationalism in Nigeria.
Away from the Olowo's palace, the EIMC 16 participants visited the church compound at Owaluwa Street to take notes. Thereafter, the Ondo State Agric-Business Center in Ishuada hosted members on the study tour. The farm manager, Gideon Adelegon and the Center's Director of Programs, Abiodun Olabomi, conducted the visiting party to the tomatoes cultivation section, the cattle and poultry sections, as well as the hydroponics house. Day one of the study tour climaxed at the Akure Town Hall in the state capital, where the Deji of Alade Tonyibo Alade Lucy received the group.
Is to impact on the participants. They require knowledge to address the dynamic and complex security challenges in their respective domains, respective countries, as well as foster interagency synergy and international cooperation.
Obalade Lucy expressed confidence that their findings and recommendations to government, if utilized, will help strengthen the security architecture in Nigeria.
Necessary security operations telling the assault is coming so that they will be prepared. And if we have the advance hammer, we will be able to take care of it before we strike.
An interactive session between the participants and the chairman of the Ondo State Council of Obas on the role of traditional institution in curbing crime and youth restiveness also takes center stage. The Executive Intelligence Management course 16 participants who are drawn from 5 African countries, Gambia, Niger, Chad, Rwanda and Nigeria, are officers from the Deputy Directorate position and above. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Ondo State Agency Against Gender-Based Violence, Osrc GBV, has started the 18 local government areas of the state sensitizing the public on the content of violence against persons prohibition law. The visits to Ilaoluji in Ilaoluji Okigbo local government area wrapped up the visit, which was led by the wife of Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Ayawa-Keredolu. Government House correspondent Omoriola Ongbeji has details.
As determined by the chairman, Ondo State Agency Against Gender-Based Violence, Osrc GBV, and wife of Ondo State Governor, Betty Ayawa-Keredolu, to ensure that every nook and cranny of the state is informed about VAP law. Ilaoluji Okigbo was the last among the council's areas to visit for the sensitization. Impressed by the large turnout, Mrs. Betty Ayawa-Keredolu testified to the fact that the gesture is yielding positive results. Represented by Senior Special Assistant to Governor on Gender, Research and Documentation, Temitope Daniel, the governor's wife declared that VAP law has come to stay in Ondo State and admonished the citizenry to stay away from all vices that can make them victims of the law.
We have actually made impacts. The people of the local government are very happy about this program. They got all the information that we passed to them, and we can attest to this through the questions they asked, and we are satisfied that we have actually delivered. And I believe by the special grace of God, there will be reduction, drastic reduction in the number or in the cases of gender-based violence in this local government and in Ondo State at large.
Executive Secretary of the agency, Bolanle Afolabi, expressed satisfaction over the successful program and assured everyone that violation of the law would be strictly dealt with.
People are now well acquainted with the content of the VAP law, and they are able to also express their fears in the area of implementation of the law. And we have also tried to explain to them that they need not entertain any fear. With their cooperation and that of the law enforcement agents particularly, we are able to implement this law to the fullest.
Wife of the chairman, Ilaoluji Okigbo local government, Mrs. Ariola Akinshuroju, represented by the Director, Social Development, Information, Youth, Sport and Culture, Mayo Atikashi, thanked the initiative and promised her readiness to cooperate with the agency alongside the people of the council areas for effective implementation.
We have enough of the violence, chiefs, midwifery, and teachers that spread this thing to the local government. It's a good thing, it's a wonderful program that the First Lady has brought to us. We really appreciate it.
Copies of the VAP law were handed over to the participants for effective information dissemination. Omoriola Mbiji, Osrc News.
In sports, the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) has revealed Flying Eagles squad for the 2023 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Argentina. Head coach Landon Bozo kept faith with majority of the players who took part at the 2023 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations in Egypt. AC Milan defensive midfielder Victor Eletu, defender Israel Domingo, Lawal Salem Fago, Kehinde Ibrahim and Emmanuel Ume are some of the new players in the squad. The Flying Eagles arrived Buenos Aires for a 10 days training program on Sunday. They are drawn in Group B with Dominican Republic, Italy, and Brazil for the World Cup. The Flying Eagles will start their campaign against Dominican Republic in Mendoza on May 21 and will also face Italy in Mendoza 3 days later. And as development stories to join us at 12 for World News. Good morning.